Okay, last video I started to write down the velocity at all times, and I went, wait a minute, this is the starting velocity. Oops, I forgot. This is the starting velocity. It's not the ending velocity. So I changed the name to V not X, V not Y, V original X, V original Y. And now let's go to, now we need the time. The distance it travels is that starting velocity. Dollar signs again. The dollar signs force the every time we copy this formula, it will always refer to F3. It won't refer to any other cell. So F3 times T. Now, T doesn't have dollar signs. There's a reason for that. Because when I change the time, I want the formula to change. So I'm just going to paste all my formulas down to the end. Excel does, when you copy and paste, that's what happens when you copy, copy, home. And let's go ahead and pin, this is the ribbon of Excel. Let's go ahead and pin it open so that you guys can always see it. You don't have to, I just closed it a second ago. And it only opens when I click on the tab and then the ribbon shows up. I'm going to go ahead and pin it so that you guys can keep seeing it. It doesn't go away. So here's all the editing tools. Cut. If you hold your mouse over an icon for a while, it tells you what that icon does. Paste, you can do lots of different kinds of paste. Normal, paste formula, paste special, which is just values down here. Anyway, lots of different kinds of paste and even more options. Paste special. So whatever you're trying to paste, whatever you're trying to copy from one cell to the other, you can do that. All these different ways of doing it. Okay, let's cancel that. I just want to do an ordinary paste though. So now my formula, let's see, it has 1, which it'll always refer to F3, but when I copy and paste it to from A2 to A3, it'll change to referring to A3. You'll notice something else. A2 is in red. The cell A2 is highlighted in red. So you know this number is used in this formula. And the blue number is used in the formula right here. So it informs you, Excel informs you what formula, what it's referring to. And the color codes will tell you the exact cells, and you can read the numbers from those cells. So it's trying to give you every help it can to make good formulas that you're going to be able to go, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing, I can do it, and, keep going. So let's copy this. Copy and paste. Copy, paste all. I'm going to paste it down to all the rows. Paste. Now, this is a different number than up here. I'm just going to click my mouse in there. You'll notice it's still referring to F3, but the formula has changed to A3. When I copy from here to here, it changes from A2 to A3, and I copied down one more, it'll change to A4. If there's no dollar sign, it'll just keep changing. It's called a relative reference. In this formula, by referring to A2, it says the cell to the left. One cell to the left. That's the cell I'm referring to. And whenever I go to the next cell down, it'll always look for the one cell to the left. Always look for one cell to the left. That's a relative reference. Absolute reference is the dollar signs. It'll always refer to F3. It won't look 1, 2, 3. It won't look 4 cells to the right or it won't look down and then over 4, or up and then over 4. It'll, and then if you copied that formula, it would always go up 1 over 4. It doesn't do that when you have dollar signs around it. This is what's called an absolute reference. Let's show it here. An absolute reference. It always refers absolutely to F3. And when I copy this formula, it'll always point to F3. It won't point to any other cell. But a relative reference, you just go to whatever the relative reference refers to, by the way. Here, let's go ahead and go to the next step. Equals V0Y F4, in this case again, times the time, minus 1/2 times G. I need this to be an absolute reference also, times the time raised to the second power. You'll notice multiplication, the star symbol, subtraction, minus sign, plus, just like your calculator. The up arrow caret, just like your calculator. A lot of the calculations Excel does are just like your calculator. Okay, now I'm going to copy this. This time the relative reference is 2 cells to the left instead of just 1 cell to the left. But it is also a relative reference. The red's changing. When you change the row of the formula, you change the row of the reference. But with an absolute reference, you change the row of the formula. You don't change the absolute reference to these cells. It always absolutely refers to those cells. Okay, now we can do some graphing. Let's make a graph. Oops, wrong tab. I should stay on the home tab because, okay, there's my graphs. Good. Most of the time in engineering, you will use a scatter chart. Do not use a line chart. There's a line chart. We'll find out why later. Most of the time, a scatter chart. X data versus Y data. So this is from a formula. So I'm going to smooth plot this, and there we have it. So we should have a, come on, there it is. So we have the X is in blue, the X coordinate is in blue, Y coordinate is in orange. So it goes up to 50 feet and then goes back down. We can format axes and things like that. I'll get into that later when we get into graphing. Okay, let's go ahead and end this portion of the video here. We'll pick up with chapter 1 some more in just a second.